How's it going, Sha?
End days. We are in the end days.
Ain't it though, yo? This is it. Yo.
I think we're just about done.
Yeah. I was talking too much shit about Mercury retrograding. She's like, oh, word? Oh, word? I will retrograde for the last time. Okay? I'm gonna call in my friends. We're gonna see what's up now, Gastor. This is wild.
This is wild. So, to explain for anyone who is listening to this after the planet has imploded and you're only going by the gajillions of podcasts that have been released into the wild to try and reconstruct what life was like for humans. We are in the northeast section of the United States. We are in New York. Specifically, we are in Brooklyn, New York.
Well, used to be. Known as Brooklyn. Right.
So, and there have been wildfires in Canada. I believe in Quebec and Nova Scotia. That's where the wildfires have been. Mostly Quebec. A lot, like, people have been evacuated from their homes in Quebec, if I'm not mistaken.
Yo.
And so the way the wind is blowing, it's moving all of the smoke from the wildfires to the south. So it's circling around, like, it's not just the Northeast getting this. Like, it's like the north part of the Midwest. You know what I mean? Like, they're getting this in Chicago. They're getting this in Minneapolis. Like, they're getting this smoke. So we're getting all of this like smoke from these wildfires. Not even like foggy air, like full on smoke. So it's not just air. It's like air with particles from a fire. You know how you light a match and part of it just goes up with the flame? It's that.
Okay.
In the air. And so right now, New York City looks like that scene in whatever media if it's a movie, if it's an apocalyptic movie you're watching, or an apocalyptic game you're playing. We look like that scene.
Real talk.
Yeah, where the sun is just an orange dot. And if you're outside for too long, there are two dots because you can't see. Like, it's very scary. It's very orange out here. Not as like this happens to California all the time. That whole state, half of that state is burning at any point. At any point.
It's normal now. Like, they don't even report it in the news. They're like, 20% of the state's on fire and keep it moving.
But here's what they do in California, because it's happened for so long. They give you like air updates. Like, there's something that can count. There's some sort of metric that counts the amount of dirt in the air.
Yeah.
So they give you out there, they'll give you those ratings. They'll tell you, hey, don't go outside. Especially if you have any sort of illness, like with your lungs. So if you have asthma, if you've had bronchitis, anything that's really like affected you breathing wise, do not go outside. And if you do, wear a mask, right? So California, they're used to that kind of thing. They know what it looks like when it's a little yellow, more yellow than usual. They're like, oh yeah, nope, stay inside. New Yorkers are just like, wow, this is crazy, yo. And then continue to jog. Like, just outside. And it's been getting worse as the day goes on. So yesterday I had my lunch break from work, for example. And I had to get cat food. So I will ride the train up to the pet store. I will get cat food. I will buy a little something to eat, and then I will walk back to my office eating whatever it was I bought. And then I'm getting some exercise by walking, and I'm outside, because otherwise I'm just at a desk with no access to windows or anything. Like, I don't see the outdoors at all when I go into work. So I got the cat food, and then I went to get the food, and I was just like, ugh, I'm gonna ride the train back. Like it wasn't. It was kind of gross. I was
Yeah.
surprised at how like foggy it was, and that was at like 1 in the afternoon. When I left my job at 6:30, I was like, oh, I am literally in a video game right now. Like this is legit The Walking Dead.
Yo, straight up.
Yeah. And so I just kept my mask on. Like this is how wild it is. The air is cleaner on the trains than it is outside.
Yeah, that's a
That's
bad
where
sign.
we are. That's where we are.
Yeah, and that's not from any new efforts on the train system.
No. The MTA didn't do anything new.
Yeah, nah, it is still
It's
trash
still
down there.
gross on the train. Don't get that twisted. But now when you go out, there is no relief. Like it actually burns. Just from the time that I walked from the pet store to get food to back to the train station, 2 hours later, my throat was hurting. My throat was sore.
Straight up.
So I was like, yikes.
Yo, I noticed. So the sun was like yellow orange the night before. I want to say that was nature in general. Like that was gonna happen. But like, I also don't know. Like, it felt too much like of a coincidence. And I don't know this shit. Like, I'm terrible with this stuff in general. So like, I was walking, and I was in the yard going back and forth between my office and the apartment, and I saw the sun like orange, and I started smelling like something different. It was like 3, 4 in the morning, and I stopped and like I looked up to the sky and I smelled the air and I saw the moon, and it looked interesting enough that like I was like, man, Gabby would like take pictures of this shit. She loves like moon colors and nature and all that nonsense. And every time she asks me, hey, did you notice the moon was like half this? I never know what she's talking about, Sha. Not one time. I have never noticed what she notices. Like, I could be at a picnic for 6 hours that evening. And on God, if she asks me when I get home, hey, did you see like the stars were in blah, 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 and the moon was this? Never know what she's referring to. I don't notice that at all.
You just don't look up to the sky?
Yeah, like it just doesn't register as a detail to remember to me. You know, like whatever's happening up there, there's no like, yo, it's like, are they selling Timbs up there? Like, why am I looking?
It don't concern you.
It don't concern me. You know what I mean? The sky is busy skying. Yeah, like it's doing what it's doing up there. As long as it keeps being sky, I'm cool. You know what I mean? And like, as I was noticing this, like initially I was like, wow, that really is beautiful. You know, maybe I should pay attention more to Gabby when she tells me, yo, the moon is like half full and you should look at it. But then like, I started really thinking, I was like, man, like, hold up, this can't be good. Because if I'm noticing, like, this is drastic. Like, if I'm noticing the air quality and the colors of the moon, like, that means this is so, like, different that, like, even my body was like, yo, G, like, take a look, B, this ain't normal. You know? That's what scared me. So, like, when Gabby wakes up, she's coughing. She's like, I don't know if I go to work. I can't, like, she's like, she was having trouble breathing in the morning. She got like, and she initially thought it was because of like sinus, like, what is it? The sinuses?
Like a sinus, sinus infection or something.
She was like, she gets like allergies from like pollen.
Right. Yes.
You know what I mean?
So like sinus-titis or something like that.
Yeah, like when like there's a lot of that in the air. She thought it was something like that. So she was like, I'm probably like work from home. And like she goes outside. She's like, yeah, so like, yo, why don't you tell me like the air quality was like this? And I was like, I ain't have words for it. I don't know what I was feeling. Okay. Like this is new for me. This is the first time it registered in my life that like there's an air quality. The air in New York has been atrocious for the 39 years of my life, but it's been consistent. You know, this is a new thing. So I didn't know how to verbalize it. I just knew bad. I don't know what's happening. The moon is trying to be like the sun. You know, like they're the same colors, kind of. Like I don't know what's going on. And I was concerned, but I also knew I couldn't do anything about it. I don't know. Should I wake you up for that in the future? Like, I don't know what to do.
In the future,
yeah.
like there's gonna be a future. We done. This is it. End days. We're
straight
done.
up. She was so heated at me. She's like, yeah, so yes, like next time the moon is a color you've never seen before and you have trouble breathing, yeah, let me know about that. You know, I want to be there, you know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we're not saying that New York City has spectacular air. Not at all. Every time I wash my hands, I rinse off gray. And that could be even if I didn't touch anything. That's just the air around us is gray like the concrete. But like this is definitely, and I've seen some weird skies before, you know, probably from like I don't know. The last time I saw a sky like this, though, was some time ago in Atlanta. And I don't know if like a storm was coming through or maybe something was on fire in the vicinity of the city and some of it came through. But I know I took my dog out for a walk and it was very eerie and very quiet. And it was this weird light. It was like an amber, like a dark yellow light, and it was the morning, so it wasn't like the sun was up, so it shouldn't have felt that dark, and it shouldn't have been like it was gross. And both the dog and I like stopped, and the dog just stepped to the side and did her business and was like, "Come on, let's go back in. We don't need to walk." We didn't even clear the yard. She was like, we can do it right here because I do not want to be in whatever this is. And I was like, that's fair. Like the air didn't feel like it was moving. And that's it. That's a little bit of how it feels out there right now. And the thing is, it gets worse as the day goes on. So, you know, like when I left for work yesterday, it was raining. And so when it stopped raining, you know, it was okay. And then I went out for lunch and it was like, and then I went out to go home and I was like, ugh. And so, and that's how it, like when I looked out the window this morning, I was like, it's not still super yellow. It looks like I have on weak sunglasses. And now now we started this in the afternoon and I was like, oh no, here it comes. And so apparently it gets very bad. Planes aren't flying right now. At LaGuardia, they've grounded planes right now.
That's real.
Yeah. So, yikes. And these fires ain't even like next door or nothing, but it's coming right down the Hudson Valley. It's just coming straight to us. And so, yeah, like at LaGuardia and Newark, they're both like, nah, we'll just wait this out. I'm like, oh no.
Yo, shouts to Canada, man. It's a power play right here, okay? We've been talking shit about them for years.
You think destroying their land is a power play?
Yeah, I think so. This is them saying like, yo,
they don't
listen.
need power over us. They already got the shit we want.
Just reminding us, like, yo, listen, we got upper hand sometimes, okay? You know, y'all might think y'all big and bad, but we could do stuff too.
I guess, but they didn't have to do that. They were fine being nice. They were fine being polite and speaking French. You know, like I don't think I needed any of the other stuff.
I didn't need it either. Okay.
This smoke. It is something.
Sometimes, you know, a country decides they need ratings, you know, they turn heel. You know what I mean?
I get.
This is it, right? Canada's heel turn is happening right before us. You know?
Perhaps that's it. But it's all the way down to Maryland and DC.
That's wild, yo.
Yeah.
That is a lot of coverage.
That's a lot of coverage. Yeah, so it's all in New England and it's all the way down to DC.
You know, and like, you know, when I recorded my album, I remember being mad at the theater because I was like, yo, I want to like get a haze machine in here. And they were like, I don't know if we could run that inside the building, you know? Might cause damage.
Right.
You know, and here go Canada saying, nah, B, I'm going to run that haze machine on life.
Yeah, but it is still causing damage.
It is causing damage. It's fair.
We are, because of our dumb, hard-headed New York community, there are still plenty of people out here trying to jog with no mask on.
Straight up.
And
My lady was out there today.
See?
She out there pushing.
Yeah, and let me tell you something. Any food vendor, your food's going to taste weird today.
Word. Today.
Like I read up, like people from California have been on Twitter all night, just like, hey, I see what y'all are going through in New York, and I see how y'all are handling it, and you all will die. Here are some things you should do. First of all, find those masks that you said you never want to wear again. Put one on. Like,
that's all.
Because you really, yeah. Also, you really can't, the way you guys have been maybe wearing a mask, one mask for a whole week, you can't do that. With this, like, it's in the mask and it's not helping. Like, you shouldn't have been doing it before. Whatever clothes you have, as soon as you get home, take them off, put them in a bag, wash them immediately. Because it's just fire particles are just in everything. Wash your hair immediately. And I was like, hey, I just washed my hair and I got dread, so I don't wash these bitches every day.
It's time.
I'm not due again until like August. So I'm not
You messing with the rotation, yo.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm sorry. I guess I'm just gonna have to live with the fire in my hair. But
that's the other reason I knew it was serious. It's like today is like I would have gone to the barbershop this morning. And like my barber's Dominican and he's like really into like signs. And he like I hit him up. I was like, yo, coming through today. He's like, no, primo. He's like, he's like, he said, he said, Dios me dijo que me quede en casa hoy. That means that God told me to stay home today. And I was like, what? I was like, how'd you do that? He's like, I looked outside. Like, that's how, like this. He took this as God saying, like, you don't work today. Like
I mean, maybe. He may be on to something.
He like, nah, primo, Dios me dijo que me quede en casa hoy. I was like, okay. Straight up, dude. I hear you, yo. And he like he ain't even like text me that. Like he sent me the voicemail. Like,
so he didn't type that out.
Nah,
he sent it in his phone. Like, I need you to hear me.
Yeah, like he like, nah, B, this is from the heart. Like straight up, God is telling me this ain't the one. You don't need that fade today. This ain't the day for us to be outside. Stay in the house. You know what I mean? Straight up. So you know, I think today's I didn't think this is how the podcast would end, you know, but
no, I didn't either. But you know what? Who knows? It could be this horrible air. It could be a literal dinosaur foot just stomping on the city. Like at this point, I really can't call it.
Oh man, place your bets. You know what I mean? We'll have a multiple choice question. How you think? The podcast / the Earth will end.
Earth will end. Because I know you're going to want to keep making episodes until the world is officially over.
Well past. Straight up. I'm uploading this somewhere on God. This will be uploaded. Now, I mean, the whole world could shut down. Anchor's gone. Real talk. I'll take you back to the 90s. Now, I mean, I start pressing cassettes. Okay, going hand in hand, but this is going out there. I'll find that old mixtape distribution on the back of the Source magazine.
Oh my gosh, you're literally going to like start up Dat Piff again just so that we can.
We're back, baby. Dat Piff podcast. You heard it here first. Let's get into the news while we can. Alrighty. You know, kicking off today's news. Sweden has made sex an official sport, Shah. That's right. Over the weekend, multiple media reports citing sources said that Sweden has become the first country in the world to officially register sex as a sport and will host the first ever European Sex Championship in Gothenburg on June 8th. However, these reports turned out to be fake. Sorry, y'all. I had to put the news out there, shut it down.
Okay.
It turns out the details
weird. Okay. Yeah. You keep reading because that's just a weird thing to do. So
this was trending and people were tagging me in it, and like I watched it become true and not true on Twitter.
Oh, that's funny.
In my heart, like I was so excited for all of this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You and Sweden.
Straight up. It turns out the details, which first emerged on Twitter, turned out to be fake. As Swedish news outlets Gothenburg's Posten reported back in April that the application from the so-called Swedish Federation of Sex chairman Dragan Bradic had been rejected by the National Sports Confederation in Sweden. Bradic, as per the Swedish media report, runs several strip clubs in southern Sweden and submitted the application to become a member of the National Sports Confederation and told local media that they have an organization number and that sex is a sport like any other. However, in a press release months later, the National Sports Confederation said that while the application from the Swedish Sex Federation was submitted on time, it was incomplete. Finished early. Additionally, you know what I mean?
I'm sorry. I've never finished I've never done this on an application before. This is my first time.
I'm sorry. No, it happens, you know?
It was just such a good application.
You hear that all the time, I'm sure, you know?
Oh, sure. Yes.
Additionally, at the time, some 4 other confederations had also been rejected. But yeah.
Is sex a sport?
I think I could see arguments for it. I started thinking about it. Like, it's definitely a physical endeavor, right? There are ways of grading, right?
Okay.
You definitely there's endurance involved. There's physical strength. You can train to get better at it.
Right. A finish line.
There's a finish line, you know? The goals are different for different people, but you can, you know,
right.
But you can set like a gradable agenda, you know? Whether it's like lasts longer or lasts the least longest.
Mm-hmm.
You know? I could see like a scoring system being created if like that was the goal, you know?
Okay. I'd say no to sports. Yes to exercise.
Okay.
I'll give it that it's exercise, cardio, hopefully.
Okay.
Or like, endurance, or weight training. I mean, it could be a few things, really.
But like, this is my argument, right? Like, it's the difference between running and a race.
Sure, I get that, but I feel like the mindset that it is a race is fucking up the fun of running.
Agreed.
I don't know. The idea of it being a sport, I'm just like, we in general as humans possibly have already had to jump through quite a few hoops to get to it.
That could be part of the sport.
Yeah, that the idea of then like losing, you know, a winner and a loser, like who wins, who loses. Like sometimes you're both losers, you know? Like just sometimes that's how that plays out.
That's fair.
So I don't know. I don't know about the idea of a sport. Who's going to sponsor it? I mean, I don't know. It's just, it seems, you know, I understand you can build an audience. Sure.
Straight up.
Yes, there's always an audience for it. But I think it's probably more, to me, it's a little more exercise than sport.
I agree. I think it's definitely exercise over sport the way that it should be done.
Right.
You know, but I can see a sport being built out of this. You know?
I guess so. I guess it's just when I think of sport, I mean, I just think of all the things the trappings that come with sports nowadays. You know?
Okay.
Unless it's like some smaller sport that you know, that doesn't have, I mean, like when it's time for sex's Super Bowl or World Series or whatever.
Yeah.
Right? It's finals. What am I going to walk into a grocery store and see like the world champion of sex selling me like Lay's potato chips to watch the big the big duel? You know what I mean? Like I'm thinking of the ways that we use sports, and
Yeah.
Who wants to talk about that with your coworkers? It's like a way to bond. Like, yuck. The things that we make, the weight that sports carries. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
the way that you should love your son, but instead you love sports. You know, like that's a royal you, not Gastor. Gastor loves his son,
Yeah,
but
he's a man.
but just the way that, yeah, I don't know if I want sex to be a part of that. Not that I'm saying you shouldn't talk about sex, of course.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I don't want whoever you think the world champion of sex to try and sell me Doritos, you know, like every spring because it's playoff season.
That's fair.
That's all. It's just I just think about the capitalistic part of it.
I gotta tell
anyway,
you,
they already have the air sex championships. Watch that.
they got
Like
air
guitar.
sex.
Yeah, and like air guitar, but it's air sex.
What is this?
Okay. Oh, you don't know about the air sex championships. All
No.
right. So, and it probably started in Sweden too, honestly. I don't know. But you know how they have how people will play air guitar, right? And so someone had like an air guitar championship, and it's actually like a world championship of people who will go up, pick a song, and then they'll play air guitar along with it.
Okay.
Well, based off of that, someone came up with air sex. So you act like you are having sex with someone else in the same way that you act like you're playing the guitar, but there's no one else there. So you're just like humping air or sucking air or licking air or something.
Is it to music?
I mean, I guess that's your choice, depending on if you like fucking to music or not. But it's, yeah. So they have like air sex. You'll have to like Google air sex champion. There we go. Air sex championship in Austin, Texas. Do they still do this?
This sounds awesome.
Does it?
Yeah, I'm not necessarily saying that like I don't want to watch and I don't want to take part, but I like that it exists. Like this, you know, because like I always think of like my boy Mike, who was the receiver at Target, you know, and I would make these deliveries. And I remember, I think I talked to you about this. I remember I watched like the playoffs and I watched like LeBron James go in the zone one day.
Right.
And like everyone was talking about it. Then I show up at Target the next morning at 4 a.m. and this dude is spinning back and forth, scanning boxes, opening up gate doors in one motion.
Right.
And he's in the same level zone as LeBron was last night, but nobody but me noticed. You know?
Yes.
And
so that's for the love of the game.
Yeah, like he just had it, you know, he put in the work and he had that moment. What if someone's only like zone is in air sex and we don't get to experience it? It's just him in a room by himself, you know?
If he's doing it for the love, it doesn't matter if we're there.
That's fair.
He's gonna hump whatever he's gonna hump.
But like as a human race, I love like being exposed to people at their elite, you know, peak, you know, to see what we're capable of. What if this person's only way of getting to that peak is through air sex? You know, and then we lose that as a society.
I don't know if we should get to see what everybody is good at.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, I get what you're saying. What if that is them as a peak human? What is that them at their peak? But I don't know. I don't know if we need to share every aspect of ourselves with everybody. Especially if we get enough joy out of knowing that this is us at our best. Because what if people at their best are still not that great? You know what I mean? Compared to other, like.
That's fair.
Like what? Okay, I like to color, right? Crayons, blank paper. I like to draw weird little odd shapes and color them in. I'm very happy. I'm good at it by my metric. I enjoy doing it.
Yeah.
No one sees them. People rarely see them. Occasionally, I may send one to my sister or something because she's seen them because she's my sister. And she's like, there's this bitch go coloring again, right? I tried painting. I tried doing it with paint.
Okay.
I didn't really like it. I like the crayon.
Yeah.
I like it. It wasn't so much the I want what I've done to be mounted and put on the wall. It's that I enjoy doing it and the peace of mind it gives me and how I feel about myself doing it. So I do it for me. That could be me at my peak.
That's fair.
And I may not want to share it with everybody because it's also, you know what I mean? Like,
nah, that's real. I get that.
Yeah.
I always wondered about stuff like that because, like, what's that lady, the Spanish lady with the one eyebrow? She's like a painter. You know what I'm talking about? I know you know. Hey, yo.
I'm sorry. I disappeared there. If you're listening, I disappeared there because I had a mouthful of water and I'm laughing at Gastor. Forgetting who Frida Kahlo is.
Yes, Frida. Yes. Boom. Gabby's a big fan of her work. And like, so we go to like, anytime she's even on the East Coast, we go to her exhibits. We've been to DC, Philly. And like, there was one of the exhibits featured something like 6,000 of her works. But the way they got to that number is because they like somebody went to like her house and found like 2,000 super small like paintings that she had done that were like the size of like Polaroids.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And like, I'm looking at those kind of like that. Like, yo, she ain't want this out. Like, this was just in her crib.
This was just
like,
at the house.
Yeah, like this wasn't part of the exhibits, you know? So like, what if like in, you know, since the world is ending already, like what if 100 years from now, like Shalewa Sharpe, the comedian, becomes like the only, you might be the only, your album might be the only album left that they find, you know?
Oh boy.
And they're like,
I better tighten it up then. I got like, a lot of ground to cover.
They're like, yo, we rock with this. This is awesome art. And they like, they do exhibits, you know what I mean? You're like the new Van Gogh. You know, people do the Shalewa Sharpe experience. They put weird paintings on the wall, but they're all your colorings. You know? In that world, that's going to be a part of your bio. Like, it's going to be like, yo, the legendary Shalewa Sharpe comedian not only was brilliant on stage, used to color. And then all of those, like, colorings you sent your sister, they're going to be on display.
Right.
You know? I don't know. I feel like people find that stuff interesting. Even if we're not supposed to see it, we want to see it.
That's true. And I mean, I guess technically I'd be dead. So
you okay
you
then?
do what you do. But that is a very good point in that I have a lot of notebooks full of that are my diary and journals that I'm going to have to either burn before I die or they're going to have to throw them in there with my body. I'm going to have to put some strong words in my in my will or trust, however I decide to do.
I love
that. Y'all don't need to see all that. I know you're dying to see it, world, but you don't need to read all that. You absolutely don't.
I love that all that my idea did was make you like more like cautionary, like a word. Oh, I'm gonna go
word?
there with all
now
shit.
I gotta really tighten up. I need to call a shredding company. You know what I
mean? Like, oh man! In other news, a woman accused of hiring a hitman to kill the wife of a man she met on Match.com. That's right. Knoxville, Tennessee woman is accused of hiring a hitman through the dark web to murder the wife of a man she met on the internet dating website Match.com. In the complaint dated May 11th, the Homeland Security agent wrote that Melody Sasser allegedly hired the hitman through a site called Online Killers Market. Yo, respect the branding. Yo, that's how you do it.
No, come on.
Online Killers Market. The order for murder had a description that said the hitman was to kill a woman in Prattville, Alabama, according to the complaint. It needs to seem random or accident or plant drugs. Do not want a long investigation, the description read. The description went on to include even more details about the victim and her husband's vehicle and jobs. Jeez. Homeland Security agent received information on the alleged plot from a foreign law enforcement agency on April 27th. Agents in Birmingham, Alabama, informed local police and the victim of the threat to her life. During the investigation, it was discovered that Sasser and the victim's husband met through the Match.com. According to the documents, the victim told authorities her husband and Sasser were hiking friends in Knoxville before he moved to Alabama. After he moved, Sasser allegedly traveled to his Prattville, Alabama residence unannounced in the fall of 2022 after the man told Sasser he was engaged to the victim. The complaint said Sasser responded that she hoped he and the victim both fall off the cliff and die. Through the investigation, the complaint said the agents linked Sasser to the account that made the order for murder on online killers market through Bitcoin purchases that were used to send money to the account. While the deposit listed in the document only totaled approximately $3,758, the total order was for $9,750. Oh, that's not bad.
Actually, that's not.
Right, yo.
It's under $10K to kill someone. That's not bad.
Yeah,
just one person, right? Yeah, okay.
And you can say how? Yeah, that's pretty dope, actually.
Yeah, that's fairly reasonable. I mean,
that's
I
what
don't
I'm
know
learning
if this
right
is like
now.
a discount killer's market or what.
Yo, this is dope. I know, like, I'm supposed to be like chastising this lady, but like, thank you for the information getting out there.
No, I mean, it's got to be on the dark web because I just tried to Google the site and it just led me to this news story again. And I was like, oh, okay, this is the dark. I got to go incognito. I get you.
That's what's up. I could kill somebody every tax season. This is fire. Yeah. Real talk. My block gonna get real empty. This is beautiful.
Uh-oh, here comes Gastor's purge again.
Every April, somebody leaves, man. What's going on?
All right. You're not single, so I don't know. And so you haven't had to deal with the apps.
No, that's kind of the first thing that caught me, by the way, because I don't know anybody that still meets people on Match.com. That's a very old way of meeting people today, I feel like, in terms of apps.
Nah, I could see it.
Yeah?
Yeah, in the same way that I see how people go to video stores to rent porn, because I know people still do that. Like, you just don't trust... You're probably a little bit older. Okay. And you you're not fully dipped in the world of the internet.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, say you're someone my age, all right? So say you're in your 50s, but if you are not like me, which is to say you haven't had a job where you've needed the internet.
Right.
You didn't like to spend a lot of time like researching stuff online. The most you've done is like Facebook and your email.
Okay.
And like maybe a neighborhood newsletter or something. I could see why you would go to Match.com.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like you don't mess with, you don't really put apps on your phone. You know what I mean? Like I could see how you would do that. And yeah, it's still out here. I mean, Match.com, honestly, I believe they own Tinder.
Oh, respect, man.
And I think they may have also bought Bumble. No, I'm not sure. I got to double check that. But like Match.com, you know, I mean, granted, it is old school. And I do know people my age who met in their 20s using Match.com because that and OkCupid, that was the only game in town.
That's how I remember it.
I may have a profile on Match.com that I'm like, I can't get to anymore because I don't have the password to my Hotmail account.
Oh yeah, shouts to Hotmail, yo. That's the email I still give out whenever I go to like stores.
That's funny. I should do that.
Yeah, I get all of my like my spam email for stores to my Hotmail account from like high school.
Okay, Match Group Inc. through its portfolio companies provides digital technology. Its portfolio of brands includes Tinder, Hinge, Match, Meetic, Meetic, Meetic. I don't even know that one. Okay Cupid, Pairs, Plenty of Fish, Azar, Hakuna. Damn, it owns all of them.
Yo.
Okay, so honestly, no matter where you going to Match.com.
Yo.
I didn't know it also owned fucking OK Cupid.
Yo, Match low-key a pimp. You know what I mean?
Actually, that kind of makes sense because judging by the Subway ads, there are some new Tinder Subway ads lately that look a lot like recent OK Cupid ads.
Same ad.
And it's also trying to push Tinder as like, you could find your like a real honest man. And everyone's like, nah, you know, this one's just for fucking. So yeah,
yo, that's
wild.
Yo, yeah, Match is hustling.
But I asked that to say that it's wild out here, no matter no matter which one it is, it's wild out here trying to find someone that you're compatible with.
I'm rooting for y'all.
Yeah. So it's a little tough. So I guess if you find someone, you're a little reluctant to let go. You can be. If you go into the mindset of this is I've met someone I want to date, which if they met through Match.com, that's probably your mindset.
Right.
You know what I mean? That was the whole thing with Hinge too. Hinge is like, oh, when it started, it was like, all right, this is how you find like someone that you really are compatible with, and then you guys go off and be a couple together. Tinder, apparently, that's just for fucking. That's what they tell us.
Right.
So here's how you really meet up. And so that's what Match.com had always, that's always been kind of its reputation. Okay. So if she went in, and also you got to make sure everybody that you're matching with or that you've all gone in looking for the same thing. You got to have that conversation.
Yeah, what you here for?
Up. Yeah. You can put down here for some fun. Are you here for some fun, or are you here to find somebody to argue with for the next 30 years?
That'd be fun too.
Be honest. Yeah, I mean, for some people that is fun.
Yeah,
be honest. Be honest about that shit. So if this woman was looking for somebody else, and this dude was, as his fiance says, looking for a hiking buddy. Which, ma'am,
yo,
nobody follows someone to another city because they're hiking buddies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, have that conversation with your man, please.
Real talk.
No one tries to get you killed because you're engaged to their hiking buddy. Come on now.
Nobody wears shorts like him next to me, okay?
Yeah, what? Come on.
Nah, B.
So
he's spinning yarn, yo. Real talk.
Yeah, it's rough out here. I don't mess with him because I don't even know if I feel like dealing with anybody. So, but I'm certainly not going to go to the dark web to figure out how to kill whoever you're with. I'm a big person. I'm big on if somebody else out there thinks they have claim to you, they can have you. So if I'm dating someone and there's somebody else out there who's like, that's my man, guess what? You're that person's man now. You're not mine.
Even if the guy didn't say nothing?
Especially if the guy didn't say nothing. Because the guy ain't going to say nothing.
What if he's like, nah, she not?
Nah. Nah. No. Because here's the thing. If you are having to say to me, what? I don't know who that is. Then you know who it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, if we've been together for a minute, and someone comes through and they're like, that's my man. We've been together, blah, 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 yada, yada. No. And then if you're like, what? I don't know. Or, okay, well, straighten that out. Please straighten that out. That has nothing to do with me. That is your issue.
Word.
And if you need time to straighten that out, please don't let me distract you. Please clean up your mess. I'll be over here.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not. Nah. But I feel like the kind of person, I mean, the dude I'd want to be with would be someone who is like, I mean, even though that's a red flag too, if you're like, hey, I really like you, but I just think you should know there's a girl in another state who thinks that she's my girlfriend. Why? Why?
I think that's a great story. Okay.
Why? Okay. So then all you did was, all right, so I'm going to pump the brakes a little bit on us. You know, like we're going to have to, you'll have to really explain that to me and whatnot. But
I never dated her. But you know, here you're gonna get some interesting pies.
Right. Like tell me in a way where it's like informational, not like, oh, before this gets out of hand. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like say it to me like, hi, my name's Tim, blah, blah, blah. Also, you should know this bitch. We're on date 3. By the way, I got this bitch who's following me around. Like, let me know as soon as possible.
Real talk. So yeah, like hey, I met her on the app, went on one date, didn't work out, but like she keeps sending me t-shirts.
That says you know,
him and hers, you know?
Some sort of detail in some way where I'm like, okay, you know.
Okay. I've changed addresses 4 times. She keeps finding me.
Something, yes.
You know? I used to be named Michael, but she still figured it out.
If you can't shake it and that, like, let me know that that's what is happening. Just give me a heads up. I don't want to get some text from somebody, which has happened, where I get a message from somebody like, how do you know this person? And I'm like, well, I mean, I guess I don't anymore. Where I'm just like, hey, I did not know that you existed. Trust me, if I knew, I would not have done anything with that person.
Also, if you got my number, I feel like you know more about this than I do.
I do, yeah.
You know, how do you know this person? So I know not to know them no more.
But you know what? I don't want to know the particulars for them.
That's fair.
That's the thing, is I don't want, oh yeah, well, who are you? That's a mess. If you were having to pull me into it,
that's fair.
Then let me just go on and pull my way out of it, because
for all the future guys out there that's going to date shy, if you want to be the one and you have a problem like this, I know how you could solve it for roughly $9,750. You know,
under 10K.
Under
10K baby. Is all we're saying.
That's it. Done deal. You dating shy. You happy now. You know. Other news, Louisiana dog claims the record for the world's longest tongue. Okay.
Ew.
Okay, who's measuring it? A dog in Louisiana has earned the new distinction for having the world's longest tongue, measuring a whopping 5 inches long. Zoe, Labrador German Shepherd mix from Greater New Orleans area, officially claimed the record for the longest tongue on a living dog, according to the Guinness World Records, which noted how the pup's tongue is longer than a soda can. The previously held record was 3.74 inches in length. Zoe's owners, Zadie and Drew Williams, thought she would grow into her tongue, but as time went on, people began to comment on how long it was. We got Zoe when she was only 6 weeks old, and in her first ever picture, her tongue was sticking out. It would be slobbering all over the place. Last year, the couple took Zoe to the veterinarian. It measured it, and from the tip of her snout to the tip of her tongue. Okay, so it's only like the part that's out. I thought the number would be crazier, quite honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like, is that a long tongue? But I guess first off, it depends on how long the dog's face is.
Right.
Is that the right? I don't know if that's the right term.
The dog's grill, okay?
Yes, the dog's grill, depending on because you know, they're like pugs or whatever, and they got short little smushed in faces.
But that makes
so 6 inches on a pug is like half the length of a pug.
Yeah, that's how they balance it. So it's only the tongue outside of the mouth,
right?
That they measure. That way, the pugs are still in the game. You know.
Okay.
Because the pug would lose automatically if you count it inside because their mouth is smaller.
Yeah, but what if there's a pug that just has a 6-inch tongue just hanging out all the time?
That'd be problematic. Like that.
Yes, that would.
Real talk.
That would.
That pug got like a 4-year lifespan. Can't breathe, can't. Yeah,
that's true. That poor pug. There's no way any air is getting in there.
Yeah,
all that extra flesh in the mouth. That's no good.
No. But congrats to this Louisiana. I feel like they adopted this dog just because of this.
You think so?
Yeah,
I think I could see how you would think because it's what is it? It's a lab German Shepherd mix.
Yeah.
So that means, at 6 weeks old, that dog is pretty much just like nose and paws.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The paws are probably huge.
Yeah.
Because they always say, the dog will grow into its paws. So the paws are like huge and then these little itty bitty legs. Yeah. So they probably thought that with the tongue too. Like, once it gets big,
they grow into that.
Fine.
Yeah.
Like, what's the thing for human babies? Their ears are the size that they're going to be when they're born.
Really? Huh.
Yeah.
I don't know, because like when my kids, their arms are short, so I kept making them put their arms up just because I thought it was funny that they couldn't scratch their heads.
And
I just and like I got sad when each of my kids' arms got proportional, like that really hurt. I like y'all are growing up. Like you could like reach up now and grab stuff.
Okay, let me make sure that's right for the human ear. Okay.
Yeah, it's got to be something head related because definitely like their head is disproportionately big. Because that's the only reason I know that's a thing. Like babies can't scratch the top of their head. They like sleep like Jesus, but they can't reach it. Right? They always got their arms up, but like you could scratch your head easily, but babies can't.
I never thought about that.
I'm telling you, babies can't reach. I tried. Every time a baby falls asleep in my house, I go in the room and I grab one of their arms and try to like stretch it out, see if I could touch their head, and they can't.
That's hilarious. Okay, so the ear isn't done when they're born, but by the time they're 10 years old, it's as big as it's going to get.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm going to go upstairs.
Yeah, by the time they're 10, whatever ear is happening on the 10-year-old is what will happen until they're like 60 or something.
Oh, wow. I'm going to go tell that to my kids upstairs. Like, yo, your ear is like fully eared out, yo.
Yeah, that's it. So you better like them.
Yo, straight up. This is what you get. Yo, that's dope. Rock on. Learn something new.
Congrats to this dog's tongue.
Yeah, yo. You got the crown, homie. You know what I mean? Wear it proudly. Yeah, don't lick it. In other news, DC National Zoo asking for public's help naming a baby gorilla. That's right. The National Zoo is asking for your help naming a baby gorilla that was born on Saturday, May 27th. The zoo said that the baby girl was born at the Great Ape House. So the mom, Kalea, age 20, and dad, Baraka, age 31. The zoo has chosen the following names: Lola, Michaela, and Zara. These names are meaning Yoruba, a name for greatness, a Swahili name for fierce, and a Swahili name for beautiful flower. There's an actual poll where you can vote at until January 9th. So the polls are still active.
No, June 9th.
June 9th. Whoa, yeah, I'm wilding out with Jay-Z.
Child, a whole year? By then that gorilla's gonna be driving a car.
But you can vote, you know what I mean? There's links available on the zoo's website.
Let's see. Lola is the Yoruba name.
For greatness.
Mkala?
Yeah, Mkali.
Mkali.
Yeah. There you go. Swahili for fierce.
Okay. And Zara, Swahili for beautiful flower. I'll tell you what.
He's a
I
solid
bet
choice.
Zara's gonna win.
You think Zara wins?
I think so. Lola, people already have a connotation for the name Lola.
Yeah.
That they may not want to put on a gorilla.
Mm.
And Nkali is too close to the extremely popular name right now. There's a lot of Michaelas.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I instinctively said it. I got one.
Yeah.
I got a Michaela here. So,
yes. So that name is growing in popularity right now. So I'm willing to bet people will be like, well, I already know a Michaela. I can't keep up with a gorilla that's named Mkali.
So Zara wins.
So Zara is probably going to be the winner.
I thought Lola would win. I feel like
you think Lola is easier to say.
Yeah, like I feel like it's easy to say. People have like a they have like a familiarity with it because of Bugs Bunny's love interest.
Oh, is her name Lola?
Yeah, she's Lola, the bunny from Space Jam.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think like it's like just familiar enough that like you know it.
I'm sorry. I just remembered when the second Space Jam movie was made a few years ago.
Yeah.
And they put everybody in different costumes and they put Lola in like a long oversized jersey, or they made her breasts smaller, or they did something. And people were very upset that Lola Bunny was not as chesty as she was in the original Space Jam.
Straight up. It was problematic on that first one, yo. She was out here.
I'm just thinking of the discourse when people are like, man, they fucked Lola up. And I'm like, okay, cartoon. It's a cartoon.
Straight up. The amount of dudes I know that like their dream woman is like the many women in like Pixar films blows my mind.
Oh.
Like that's the whole thing. So like,
yes.
You know, like the Pixar mom look. They call it, you know? So yeah, like Lola, you know, for dudes of my generation, that could have been there first. You know, like Lola Bunny is like Kelly Kapowski and like Topanga, you know? That's what they was into, you know?
Wow. Yeah. Lola and who was the other? I feel like there was another sexy cartoon, not Jessica Rabbit. There was someone else. Oh, The Lion King.
Okay.
Whoever the girl was in that. I never saw The Lion King, but whoever that the girl lion was who was running around with Simba.
Yeah, Simba.
Yeah, Simba was the dude. But his girlfriend, I guess.
Nala.
I know yes, Nala. Yes.
Nala.
I understand she had quite a come hither look that a lot of people wanted to come in hither. So
that's a dope name too. I like that. Nala's nice. Add Nala to the list.
You're right. It probably will be Lola. You're right.
Yeah, I dig it.
I guess I would just vote Zara.
Yeah, Zara's a beautiful name. You know.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get into the conscious of the people. You know. In other news, hands-on Apple Vision Pro was debuted this week. That's right. Going into the Vision Pro demo room at Apple's WWDC conference. A lot of people got to experience the pre-released version of Apple's Vision Pro headset. It is being marketed at $3,500. It'll be released next year. And people are kind of saying that it's going to be their visual computer.
Oh my God.
Did you see the ad for this thing?
Not really. Like I saw a photo. Is it a print ad? I didn't see like a video.
There's a video that's an Apple official video, like explaining it, that is equal parts impressive and scary. If they're even remotely like able to capture what that video claims it can do, I don't know if I want it. Like it's too much. Yeah, like there's a lot of aspects of it that like for those of you that haven't seen it, like it's essentially the same setup as like a lot of VR goggles that people have tried, but there's a few things that make it very distinctly different. One, unlike most VR goggles, you can still see through. So when you're wearing them, you can still take part in the regular world like they're actual glasses. So like if someone walks in the room.
Already do this with Google Glasses?
Google Glasses is the only thing that was close, yes.
Okay.
You can touch your apps in it. You can watch films, control the size of the screen. But you can also change the space you're in. So like if you want to watch a movie in your home on like a theoretical 70-inch screen and then change your home into like a beach setting, you could do that. It's super trippy. But yeah, people that tried it raved about it, said they're like, or not so much that they liked it so much as the commercial was very accurate to the experience. And it's coming out next year for $3,500, which is like a lot of money, but like that's a computer money. Like that's just enough that I know people will buy it.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it is computer money, but it's also have we given up on what's happening here?
Straight up.
Like, are we done with just like as limited as our contact is with each other? Are we done?
I think so, Sha. I think this is like, I think they timed it really well with this New York smoke ending the world thing.
Well, that's great. Yeah, that's wonderful. So I'm going to be trapped inside with a pair of oversized ski goggles trying to flip through my pictures with my eyelids. No. Also, I want to do something different. I don't want to look like feel like I'm on the beach watching YouTube videos. That's like literally just sitting on the beach looking at your phone.
What do you want to do?
Why is everything just like you could put yourself in a wild space? And I do. And all I'm doing is looking at the same 3 apps that I look at every day. Why would I pay $3,500 to read the New York Times in space while actually sitting on my couch?
That's fair. The thing I want, and I don't know if this will, I feel like we're heading in this direction, but what I want is for me to be able to sit in real places. So like while it's happening, like I would love for there to be like 2 designated courtside seats that like you can pay to feel like you're sitting in that seat.
So they just have 2 empty seats courtside.
That like
they sell
they sell like access to that seat, and like you can like have cameras there. So like if I'm in like fucking Jersey, but like the Lakers are in the finals, I could sit courtside at a Laker game where like my homie, you know, and my homie could be in another state, but like we can experience it as if we're courtside together.
But then won't there be like, I don't know, 11 cameras in these 2 seats just constantly moving around to match with all the various like headsets that are trying to
probably. But I feel like it's the only real use of this that I want. Like I want to experience things, because I think to your point, I still want to experience life.
Right.
You know, I need real life things. So like the only use for this to me is if there's a real life thing I can't get to. Like put this in if my sister's graduating college, my sister just graduated college. What if her graduation was in another state? You could put 2 seats designated in the school for that, and I could experience being there. Or for like the people that love her but didn't make the 4-ticket cut, you know? And strap up your VR. You could be closer than the seats Gastor got, and he went, you know? And you could watch the whole graduation. When people cheer, when people walk up, you could experience it. I think that's the only real uses that I think would be interesting. Or like even things that like were never possible. Like what if you could put the cameras in the seat next to the NASCAR driver while he's driving? You know, so I can feel what it's like when the car is racing. I'm not interfering with the race, you know what I mean? You race solo.
But all right, so I guess then that's basically what they're working towards with current VR anyway, yes?
I think so.
Okay.
But those are the only applications I could think of for any of these things that I'd be interested.
For any of these things.
Yeah, like I like the idea that you can go to different spaces, but I don't want to do it to escape. I want to do it to be included.
Gotcha. Okay.
Know?
All right. I see. I see that. I see that as anything that can be used as a tool for people who can't get to all the places they want to get to.
Yeah.
I'm on board for that, sure. But if it's literally just so that I can flip through Excel spreadsheets,
Yeah, that's
nah, I'm good.
it's trash.
You know, like I just like let's be honest about what we use our phones for and what we do on our computers and that kind of shit. You know,
I don't, yeah, because I know like if it becomes what you fear, and I definitely think there'll be a huge part of that. Like
right.
I feel like I'm gonna see Excel sheets in my sleep. You know,
I do already. You know what I mean? Like if that's like your work. Why would I want that? And I mean, like, I don't even know what this is going to mean for the adult entertainment industry.
I think that's one of the good ones.
I mean, well, honestly, any change in technology is just to help the adult entertainment industry pushes forward.
Yeah,
technology.
I'm pro that. I feel like I think there's a lot of people with sexual needs and kinks that they're like uncomfortable requesting or asking. I think there's people that are lonely. I always think of Wyoming, you know. Like,
wait, what?
Not that this the state. I'm just saying they got so little people, you know.
Oh, right. That's right. That number has blown your mind.
Yeah,
yes.
that shit. Every time I think of that shit, I think like, yo, there is under like 600,000 people in a whole state, and they count as a state. You know, so like I think there's got to be a dude that's like, yo, I'm not bad. You know, I'm a solid 7 in looks. I graduated college. I work hard, but he's the only dude for like 3 square miles. You know, and he's gone on all the dates. He got the Tinder app open, but like, there's no matches because there's no one else on the app.
Right.
You know, that dude deserves to order a VR headset. You know, and be okay. You know.
Gastor out here just speaking up for the common man.
That's it, you know? I'm spoiled. I'm in New York. I get it. You know, I met my wife. She lived a whole 7 blocks away from me. You know? I get it. I know that I'm blessed, okay?
Right.
And I know that I dated prolifically and never went more than 2 miles. 2 miles. You know? I had a really, really beautiful young lady that we hit it off, and she told me she was from Jersey. Instantly disconnected. I couldn't even fathom crossing a tunnel to meet somebody because of how spoiled I am as a New Yorker in the dating pool.
Wow.
You know? Straight up, I dated 1 person in the Bronx, 3 dates. And after that, I was like, no more. I got a 1 transfer rule.
You know? My gosh.
That's how good we have it here. But you got to think of the common people, you know?
You got to think of Wyoming.
You got to think of Wyoming. They suffering out there, you know? VR is for them.
Oh, man. I got it. You know what? When we start doing live war reports,
yeah,
Wyoming's got to be like first on the list.
Real talk. I'm with it.
I think. Yeah, I think if we do it in whatever their capital is, I'm assuming it's Wyoming City. We will perform there for them.
If you would like for the war report to come to Maine, I don't know what the central Wyoming, the Wyoming capital, whatever it's called.
I should look that up.
If you would like for us to go there, have our show, and have all 15 people in Wyoming come out, all you gotta do is like, subscribe to the show, baby. If you are Apple, Spotify listener, we appreciate your ratings. 4 stars. You hating on Wyoming. That's messed up. You know? They're a very important member of this country. Admittedly, I don't know. What's cool about Wyoming?
Cheyenne.
That's what's up. Low key.
That's it.
Yo, you go. Cheyenne, Wyoming.
We'll bring you VR headsets.
Straight up. We're going to raffle off a VR headset.
Now, granted, they will be War Report branded VR headsets, so we probably actually got them from Poppy on the corner. But
straight up,
they're
gonna work.
It's just gonna be a ski goggles with a old school viewfinder toy in it. That's all it'll be.
Yo, why these goggles so heavy? They take double D batteries, okay? All
right? Yeah. Only Rayovac. They only take Rayovac batteries. Don't put Energizer in them. Only Rayovac. The cat with the 9.
5 stars, you see the vision. We gonna crush it in this Wyoming show. Okay? Raffling off these new VR headsets that Shalewa and I got made in bulk on Alibaba. Okay?
These Shein headsets.
If you have any articles you want us to cover, please DM us directly on Twitter and Instagram at Silky Jumbo, at Gastor Almonte. Shout outs this week to Chris James, Iron Fist Mom, and Lori McDaniel. With all that said, I am the soon-to-be resident of Wyoming, Gastor Almonte. You know, it'd probably be great for like car insurance. You know, I assume. With the soon to be mayoral candidate, you know, of Wyoming, Shalewa Sharpe.
Once I looked up what it was, I'll be glad to lead it.
This has been newly considering moving episode of the War Report. Catch y'all next time. Peace.